I remember the very first time I came here back in like 2015 or something. It must have been the first night I got here. You know, back in those days, Amun was coming to people in dreams, pulling us out of our bodies and that type of thing. He was on that vibration. So the very first night, I remember I woke up in the middle of the night and I was being pulled up. I was off the bed already by the time I opened my eyes, you know. But that adrenaline hit me. I ain't gonna lie, the adrenaline hit me. I'm like, what's going on? I never experienced that before, and I was like fully conscious, you know, and I didn't know half sleep state or nothing. And then once that adrenaline hit, I just felt myself slowly drifting back down to the bed, and then I just had this feeling of I missed that blessing, you know. I'm sure anybody would have, you know, caught a similar feeling if you just woke up and you hovering above your bed, you know. That was the first time I experienced that.
Yeah. My first experience that I remember, well, I have been having them, I guess, for years, certain things, but I just didn't understand what I was going through. But I started studying with Amun in June of 2014, and my first experience that I can remember was going down the hallway to the bathroom, and I was going to get a shower. But before getting into the shower, I had to use the toilet, but I kept forgetting that once you flush it, and I had already started the shower water. So once you flush the toilet, it changes the water temperature. Now I gotta stand and wait 2 minutes or something like that. I forget until it gets back to the temperature that I set it to. So I just stood there and I propped my foot up on the side of the tub. And as I did this, all of a sudden I found myself walking back down the hallway again. And on the way halfway down the hallway, going back toward the bathroom, I just walked right up off the floor, just walking right up into the air toward the ceiling. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what just happened? So when I told Amun about that, he said that I had an experience in something called bilocation. I never went through that before. That was the weirdest thing.
And that was how long after you started coming to the class? Because I remember when you started coming to the class too.
Yeah, maybe some months. I don't recall how long, but I think some months. Then after that, I started having experiences back to back. I would sit in the chair and doze off after I'm going to that meditation thing with the candle lit, and then one of the visions that I had was I was sitting there in the chair, and a being, or in the shape of a brother, it was the brother was he didn't have a face, but he was, where his face goes, it was jet black, and then his legs and feet were black, and I could see his hands, and he had on something that looked like a white turban and a white jalabia. It was short, and he like appeared coming from the left of me, and as he walked from my left side going to the front of me, left front of me, he said, come on, he said. And I told Amun about that. And then the next time I had an experience or a vision, it was this man that came also from the left of me, and he was not quite as tall as Amun, and he had a gray.
Rahubat, everybody.
Something that covered him. And
hey, it's good to hear your voice. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Zakiya. Go ahead.
And his hair was combed to the back, like Amun wears his hair when he takes it out, brushed to the back. But he was not as the complexion that I know Amun. He was like a ruddy reddish kind of complexion. But
well, that's what color I am. That's just when I was taken up, I got darker, and then I got sensitive skin in Georgia. But I'm red.
And then he walked across in front of me to the right of me, and there was a chair there, and he sat, and the man was of a thick statue, and he walked across me and sat down in the chair. When he sat down in the chair, he had something in his right hand similar to a staff-like thing, and he had this. But when I finally met Amun, I realized that the man that I saw in my vision favored Amun. He just smiled at me. He never was like a fool. He just smiled at me and sat down in the chair. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is that Amun? Is that Amun? But I told Amun about it.
Yeah, but you very much love.
I was relating some of the spiritual experiences.
Well, bless your soul. And that's a wonderful thing, and the world will hear it. I love you for that. Anybody else have a spiritual experience they'd like to share? Thank you again. Or what is that first question? We're a little behind. I want you all to remind me, after we perform the miracles with the stars at 10:30, after that, I'm going to do a little reading, but then we're going to have a spiritual blue light healing session, as there are quite a few people that are, in need. Thank you, son. In need right now. So, okay, let's just get generating these questions. And anybody else have a spiritual experience again?
I have an experience.
Okay.
Mine is here recently. I've been having more. Are they called lucid dreams?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where I know I'm dreaming and I'm like, okay, I see this happening and I'm aware, but it's in the dream. And then when I wake up, I'm like, it feels so real.
It is. First off, the elusive dream is indicative of a person that's becoming conscious, waking up. The giant inside of you is stirring. But also, you have to realize that what you call in the dream state is actually more realistic than this illusory reality that you're speaking with the walking conscious wake mind right now. You follow what I mean? And that you over there think that the one that's talking to us right now is the dream, just like you think that the being that you are in the dream state is only a dream. Are you following what I'm saying?
Right.
But that reality is much realer than this one. Because you see, dreams of the spiritual realm, and my question is the spirit born of the flesh or the body, or is the body a projection from the spirit?
From the spirit.
Right. Then nothing can rise above its source. So then you know that the spirit realm is realer and much more powerful than the physical, and unbounded and infinite. Just like I said, the distinction between the matrix power of your physical eyes that can't see past the floors and walls, as compared to your mind's eye, a third eye, that when you close them, you can see, the tree in front of your house, the approach of your home from inside, and in the past, and of course future as well, because we've all had visions and dreams that were vivid, and then when it played out, standing next to somebody said, well, look, I saw this in my dream a week ago. So you can't remember the future, so evidently there's somebody in you that can see through walls, backward and forward. And so that would be, so the third eye is really a much more powerful matrix, or the spiritual eye, or eye of all, if you want to simplify it. Yes. So when you're in that state, in other words, it's just like when you have a dream and you say, I saw us last night in a dream. For us is being projected by the eye. So when you have a lucid dream, that's like you're connecting with the eye. You follow me? The two are beginning to merge. And yes, it is possible to merge what you call the dream state and this state. You can merge them. And a lucid dream is something to that effect, approaching that. That would be the distinction between that and an actual out-of-body experience, like you had when you walked through the wall on the second floor and were on the lawn, and then it was dark, but then you turned around, it was daylight, and you walked through the office with the people. That's OBE. But lucid dreaming is something in between, right?
Okay, because some nights I can go to sleep and I would call early, like 10 o'clock is early, and then I can wake up and I'm just exhausted, like I worked a job or two
exactly.
jobs.
Yeah, but you're active in
sleep and only get 3 or 4 hours and wake up and I'm energized.
Exactly. It depends on what you're doing and where you're at. A lot of times we don't remember, vividly all the details of our travels in a dream state, but you know that it is a reality. And over there, a lot of times you really exerting a lot of energy. You know, like sometimes I'm chopping the heads off reptiles and doing a lot of different things, and then I wake up kind of feeling drained and exhausted, you know what I mean? And if as soon as you wake up, you should always have a pencil and pad by your bed so that you can highlight some of the most pronounced things in your dreams and keep a record of it. Then as you keep that diary, a record of it, and then after maybe 5 or 6 months, you start going back, reading it from front to back, then you see a sort of overview or picture emerge that makes sense, and it'll teach you how to validate or make the distinction between false and true dreams, and train you up in a way that the oversoul communicates messages to you of probable outcomes on the physical plane. You know what I mean? In other words, it'll give you a lot more experience about how to conduct yourself there, and what's valid and what's not, what's a fixity and what is something that's more malleable that you can change, or you know what I mean, an outcome, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a pattern that'll start developing and emerging off the pages to you. You start noticing definite, distinct patterns. You follow me?
Because this all started happening when I, every night, just like before when I had the out-of-body, I was doing the transformation meditation. Mm-hmm. So I listen to that consistently. Mm-hmm. And I have it on my phone. So when
I listen to it a lot myself.
Yeah. And I'm listening to that one.
Me too.
And doing the tones,
Yes, and learning to learn those, recite those chants. Mm-hmm.
The attributes, the chants, doing those. And it really
those are words of power
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see, and when you know something's working, right. And when it's working, and it's working for you. So, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep going in that direction. You follow?
Right.
And I'll always have different levels to take you up, further and further. You know what I mean? But I just want to make sure you got this. Get it gone. You know what I mean? It's like Tahim was saying. I go take people through certain schools. Like I was back years ago into the out-of-body OBE. I was coming and taking people out of their body and taking them to different planets and Nibiru and especially the Crystal City and places like that, And then I got on the thing with the white light, the spirit, coming out the body through a orb, some people call it bulbous Christus, I have various schools that I go, but I stay in them for a long time, and now I'm into the moving stars and learning how to control or manipulate your environment and what have you, And I promised you all that at some point I would have you walking through walls and making yourself invisible, and a lot of you already achieving that. Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Rahubat, family.
Rahubat, good to hear your voice there, son. Bless your soul.
Yes.
And I hope you got 1,000 questions tonight.
I had a couple horrible experiences this week. I was just lying here on the bed. I was not doing anything in particular. And all of a sudden I saw a blue orb about the size of a 50-cent piece. It was really blue and really bright. And then after that, I saw a couple more that were a little bit smaller. And then a couple of days later, I saw a bright white light, like out the top of my right eye. And about half an hour later or 20 minutes later, I saw the same thing again. I meant to tell you about it, but it's not to get on my nerves.
I'm glad you're doing it now. And what I'm looking for you all, I want to activate the marker box, the movable throne, where you all see a diamond light. Those are beings. Those are beings. See, thank you for having patience with me. The one that asked the question. What happens is, for example, when you go outside at night and look up at the stars, there are many stars which are like our sun, have planets revolving around them, and some of them, lots of them, are in what we call the Goldilocks zone. They're planets that are not too close to the sun to burn or too far away to freeze, and they can accommodate life as we know it, and they're conscious. And some are they're very elevated. You know, they're much more mentally aware than we are, so they know that you're looking at them, and then they peep into this reality to see who it is that's watching, looking at them. Are you following me? So those are beings, you know. Now, the person that asked the question had the new question. What was your question, please? Hello?
Well, back. Yes, this is Shanice.
I'm glad to hear your vibration. Yes.
Oh, so my question was, when the beings from the other world came to visit and they found, many kinds of creatures, how was those creatures formed, the creatures that they had found?
They were all formed through evolution and what we call panspermia, In other words, when you have a supernova, in star systems, in the center of it, of course, is the sun, is the life of that solar system. And they have a lifespan, and they burn out. And as they do, when they approach a supernova, they start superheating, and they expand bigger and bigger to, like if it was our sun, it would envelop the orbit of Mercury, which was only 36 million miles away, then Venus, eventually Earth, until it was all the way out to Pluto and outer objects, and it would encompass all the celestial debris as far as comets and meteorites and asteroids, and everything would be a part of that. And then when it reaches the extent of its expansion, then it implodes. It shrinks back down, and but it's much smaller than it was originally. So it goes into a white dwarf star, very small, but it's got a lot more material in it, so it's highly packed and dense, where that maybe a tablespoon of it could weigh as much as 10 tons, right? Are you following me? And then that causes it. Okay, you wanted to know where the beings come from that get it. We'll see what happens when it gets to when it gets small again, like a nuclear, many times it'll explode again into when it explodes into a supernova, you got a lot of celestial debris that comes from it, and it goes all out into the cosmos. And it freezes sometimes, and encased inside those rock and ice crystals, there are spores and life forms, right, that just that land on many other planets. They're attracted by the gravity to them. And if the conditions are right, then it produces life that was like the life that was on some of the worlds that orbited around that sun. Are you following me? And it perpetuates itself in the same way that an apple tree, the Creator is magnificent in that once the Creator creates something, like a man and a woman, and he just simply tells them to go forth, be fruitful, and multiply, he can walk off and create something else because it's self-perpetuating. The way, or apple tree, it'll grow up, then it drops an apple. When it bears fruit, it falls to the ground, and then eventually it works into the soil through rain and different conditions, and then maybe a bird will come along and eat the seeds, the apples, pick it off the ground and swallow the seeds, and then defecate somewhere else, and then it'll be apple tree. You see, it proliferates like that. That's what panspermia is in the cosmic sense, right? And that's where the beings come from. But now, when you have them here as simple single-cell organisms, for example, over time, they evolve. You follow what I mean? And I'm not talking about superficial surface modification, but they actually evolve over millions of years into more complex organisms. You follow? When the vapor ring drops and you do simple amino acids and sugars, they evolve into much more complex organisms. An example of that is archaeologists that might propel down, say, the Grand Canyon, where it was cut out sharp by one of the crabs from Meldeck, and so it's got layers on it that go back in time, like when you cut a tree down and you see the rings around the tree and you can tell the seasons and the timing, et cetera. Well, when they get in an archaeologist's chair and by a heavy rope, they propel them down the canyon, actually dropping them back down through time. And when they get down to the very bottom layers to like the crustacean, till you have the single cell organisms, then they start taking samples and they pull them up a little at a time, and then but you're actually coming back up through time for millions and millions of years ago. And then they can actually have a record where they can calibrate the length of time it takes one organism to evolve into another, right? You follow what I mean? And then they bring it all the way up till they get to where they got like primates, Homo erectus, Australopithecines, the great apes. And then, but it takes millions and millions of years for a species to evolve into another species. But what they found that was astonishing to them is that when it came to the Homo erectus, or the primates, which is two words, that in a 600-year period, in cosmic, that's like a snap of a finger. They went from swinging in trees to building pyramids and using levitation and lodestone and light amplified stimulation, emission radiation, laser beams to cut this granite, and the perfection of it, the integrity of the seals between the stones without mortar had more integrity than the welds on the NASA crafts. This stuff was perfect. So they would perform intricate heart and brain surgeries and celestial travelers back and forth in space, and they were dumbfounded by that. They couldn't figure out how they transformed from monkeys, and in a 600-year period, they were doing these very sophisticated things that they can't even duplicate now today, with nuclear bombs on the engravings and on the monoliths and frescoes and light bulbs and this type of thing, and they reached the conclusion, the inevitable conclusion, especially with the activity of the extraterrestrial UFOs appearing after 1945 and Los Alamos, and with the testing and after the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that they started coming in large numbers. They realized that there was an intervention, that there was a race of extraterrestrial Elohim, or beings, or those beings that dipped into the timeline and put their genetic material inside of these monkeys, a prime mate. We're all star beings. We're all made of stardust. Yes, exactly. Inevitably, that's all Anunnaki are stars. But that's what happened. But now they were told not to ever go. Just like on Star Trek, when you go to another planet, don't interfere with the natural, evolution, this, that, and the other. So when they did that, it caused a lot of problems, like hundreds of thousands of years in the future. Now they have to come at us again from their past through our future, far back and beyond, right? In order to make the corrections. There was 97 corrections that had to be made in order to have the ripple effect of straighten up things way up forward. Whereas, if you build a house on a foundation of sand, you're going to have problems. So you have to go back and shore up the foundation, or the house will keep having slippage and cracks, and follow what I mean? So they built their future on a rickety past. When they see, in other words, Darwin was just I don't know what kind of game he was playing, talking about everybody evolved from monkeys. Well, if that was the case, how come the rest of the monkeys not people yet? So it's obvious to anybody thinking that they selected certain apes or monkey species and they put their genetic material into them, and shot them up, millions of years, and you know what I mean. But they left the other ones there on their normal natural timeline, and they're still chimpanzees and rhesus and what have you. You know what I mean? Follow me? Mm-hmm. But that's where the beings came from. But if you mean originally, you mean life period, or you just mean right here on Earth? What are you curious about? What you want to know? Where these beings? Which beings? You know, it was not a singular God. For example, in Genesis, which doesn't mean create, but to remake Pharisees. They said, "Let us create man in our image and in our likeness." That's these beings, Elohim.
I was just curious about, where did the world be born, and where did it die, and was
the world born? It was born out of the sun. You mean the Earth, the planet itself, or the world? You mean the system of things? This is the fourth world on this planet.
The world, the system, the world that Malachi was talking about when he was giving direction to the way.
Okay, you mean in all expanding? Are you talking about the new heaven and the new earth?
Yes.
Well, you got to understand it, and a lot of people think that the all is spooky and unimaginable, but we're all a part of all. Papaut as the all, in all, like a drop in the ocean. So the all is knowable because you are a part of all, right? So to yourself, you have 7 shadowy stages of duplicates of yourself in that one form, and even more outside. See, because right now, am I talking to? Are you a spiritual being? Yes or yes or no? And are you a soulful being?
Yes.
Are you a physical being?
Yes.
No. Are you a conscious and mental being?
Yes.
Etheric and on and on. You follow what I'm saying? So all of these, all of that's you vibrating at different frequencies. So Gaia or Mother Earth is like the human body. Just like your body has all the elements that are in the planet Earth. The same thing is applicable in the reverse. So Earth itself has many stages or density levels of itself. You follow? So that when you talk about the new heaven and the new earth, it's not necessarily a new planet, but you raising up to a higher frequency into a new world. See, if you could try to imagine a string of pearls on a necklace, right? And they would all be the same size. Then think of them as all earths. All of them are earths, the same earth. There's duplicates of it that become less and less dense, but they're identical, right? So what you're doing is, and I have to use that in a linear sense, the same way that people imagine traveling up the plains, and they think of it as layers of strata, probably one above the next one actually is intricately woven modes of vibration, woven together so uniquely you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. The same as with the earth, you know what I mean? In other words, there are interphases between the physical world and the spiritual world, but those are both worlds there. Now, the physical you, if you could just keep making reference to the planet Earth as a larger you follow me? Which that's what it is, above so below. Then we know that the spiritual you is also here on the phone with us. But the thing is, we can't see that spiritual aspect of you. Well, some of us can, in the form of an aura, because it expands through your skin about 3 feet outside your body, typically, as a sort of an aura. But the thing is, you're a whole light being, and people that are physical, and they see things, and they only believe they use their mind-body consciousness, so that they perceive their surroundings or environment through their 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, taste, and touch, which are located centrally on your face. Your skin you can touch, and nerves, and then the eyes and the olfactory, the nose, smell, and particles with the ear to strike the drum, to create vibration. So you follow me, and that's how they connect with this, what you call reality. And many times, because the Creator mind is so real and thoughts are so powerful, they get lost in the morass. They start imagining that this is the only reality. You know the kind of people is, oh, here she come with that spiritual stuff. Look, I'll tell you what, I'll come back and talk to you when you're ready to come back down to earth. You know what I mean, right? No, I don't want to deal in that. So I don't believe in nothing that I can't see and touch. Like, that's a lie, nigga. You believe in the wind. What color is that?
Mm-hmm.
You believe in atoms. The last time you saw one, what exactly did it look like? You see, you very selective. In other words, you choose to believe in the unseen when it's convenient. What they don't want to believe, they believe in love and they believe in hate. What do they look like? How much do they weigh? But see, like the Creator, you can't see him, but you can definitely feel him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, these worlds are like that, and the higher you raise up in vibration, the less dense are the yous, the multiple images of you become less dense. And the world is going through now an evolution where it's making a jump into a higher vibration, because this physical world is passing away, this lower vibration, which is forcing those who have been prepared and are ready to make that quantum leap to the spiritual plane, to the next reality, to the next world, right, to a higher world. That's why Panabab Yanun kept telling you all that you have to learn to turn yourselves inside out. And I added, in your perspective of who and what you are. You know, rather than what most people commonly think of as their physical being that possesses a soul and a spirit, etc., as some vague, peripheral, ghostational aspect of themselves that's not really there. You are actually a spiritual, soulful, etheric being that's projecting the illusion of physicality, right? And as the truth emerges, then now begins the dock with itself. It's called self-realization. You begin to realize that this is only an illusory reality, and it's beginning to fade or pass away. And for all of those that are not able to make that leap, or get trapped in the mud of their own flesh, they get left behind, right? So they don't get to make the leap to the higher spiritual plane, because they haven't been taught or graced in the etiquettes of the spiritual plane, right? You follow what I mean? It's just like the dimensional shift. Many of the effects of which people refer to as the Mandela effect, right? So, you know, I can take you all, how many times have I taken you all through the Bible to show you all the changes in the Bible, which it could be the same Bible your grandmother had with all the family names and et cetera, but there are definitely distinct changes, like one day the lion will lay down with the lamb. What does it say now, somebody?
The wolf.
Yes, it says the wolf and the leopard will lay down with the lamb. Right, you know, I mean, that's just one example out of thousands I could give. And we'll, tonight, if anybody, you know, requests that. But look, Jiffy Peanut Butter, what is it called now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jif, right, yeah. Nobody does it like Sarah Lee, but now it's nobody does it like Sarah Lee. You know, Sex in the City is now Sex and the City. Like you having sex with the city. You know what I mean? It's just, some of it is foolish. You know, it doesn't even make sense. You follow me? But it's, yes.
I have a question.
Well, I mean, the sister, wait a minute a second. We can't, the sister, let's let her, I love you. Just 1 minute. Have a little patience with her like she did with the person before. Okay? That's all right, right? Just try to remember it and have patience with me. Okay, sister. Now, if that wasn't clear enough, please turn it, the question, in a way that until you get exactly what you want from me or out of me.
I think
okay,
that
son.
explained it. I think that explained it better.
Okay. See, you have to make that journey within and
Exactly.
connect to your spiritual self, right?
And
when you do,
out.
you'll automatically connect to the higher, to the next world.
I love you.
Won't. I love you more. Peace.
So later, I just want to ask you if I can just make an announcement.
Yes, you can. Go ahead. Speak up, though. I want to make sure everybody knows, too, that we have language Nawabic class every Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the 515 room. So please make a note of that. And Har's an excellent teacher. And when I say excellent, I mean exactly that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, that's every Tuesday at 9 o'clock 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the 515 conference call room. Okay, go ahead and make your announcement, son.
Okay, and our mom constantly has to ask us to put our phone on mute.
I love you.
I say that to say this. Even I made mistakes in the class.
That is very relevant to say it. It's not a personal rebuke to anybody. It's just something that's showing respect for one another. That's all. All right, Kim, thank you for your patience. And what was your question? I hope you didn't forget.
I didn't forget. Before class, prior to class, like 20 minutes, I was laying down, and it was like massive heat coming from my body, like a heat aura, like all over my body. I just want to know what that was. It was like for 5
Well, let me give you one indication of that. Well, you have an inner subtle solar. Well, the root of that word is soul. And know this, that people that are always hot, and people around me that touch me, they say, brother, you real hot. Your skin is hot. I stay hot all the time. That's a healer. They have a lot of electric energy in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll piggyback that. I have the same experience.
Good, very good.
Every
I like
night
to use people's personal experiences for the best evidence, right?
Every night I have that experience.
And I'd like to piggyback on both of them.
Very good. Very good. Each one teach one. That's why we want people to share their experiences.
I also have a question.
Right. I'll do my best.
The question is about the remnants of people that will be, like you say, coming from under and out of everything after, for lack of words, the Holocaust.
Exactly. In other words, what she's saying is that because from 2000 to 2030, August 12th is Amun's time to rule. And as Yanun repeatedly tells people that by 2030, I'll have all of you raised up. You follow me? That's when you look at the last picture in the Holy Tablets, you see, which is also myself, the three Mims, Akhman at birth, Muhammad, the Prophet, and Mahmud in the end is the same Ruach, or soul. And you see an etheric tube coming out of the top of my head going to the Crystal City. And if you look closely, you can see a lot of brothers and sisters packed in the tube, gowned in white, floating up the tube. That's indicative. That's symbolic of you all being raised up. But now, after you don't necessarily have to go any place in a linear sense, but after you're being raised up now, and after you get raised up, I'll have replicated myself 144,000 times. You'll be 144,000 Messiahs. And behold, I looked at Mount Zion, and there stood a Lamb, and with him 144,000 with their father's name, that green light seal, in their foreheads, right? And then after the chaos of the Holocaust, the wars and all these bombs and diseases and plagues and these different beasts and things, there'll be a remnant that survived all of that, of every nationality, kindred, and tongue. There'll be all belief systems and all races of people. And these people will emerge from under rocks in their hiding places and caves and what have you. But those will be the ones that gravitate to Mount Zion and circumambulate it with palms in their hands, saying Hosea to the highest in reference to me. But then that's when I send 144,000 out among them, and then they'll raise them up, because these are the people that are now ready to accept the truth. And they want to go back home and make things right. They want to repent. And they too will be saved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we go through this healing blue light session, a lot of people requested, you know, I decided I might incorporate it into the class this time, whereas you all know that I typically call individuals up that I select, you know, because I get messages to call this person that. But when you start shifting to the blue light body tonight, and your fingers start disappearing, you start getting transparent and raise it up in vibration, you'll notice that heat. But know that when you transform into that state and you start vibrating on a higher frequency, you know, when you meditate, go into deep meditation, you can actually pour a glass of water and then take your finger and stick in that water and stir it up, and then drink that water, and it's a healing substance. Because that second or prana come off your finger into the water. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I used to just do that. I didn't know about the spiritual part you just said. I used to just do that. And
well, that might be part of the reawakening. That might be part of that reawakening I was just discussing. There's a lot of things.
I don't know why
you all have intuitive flashes of. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just reflex. It's intuitive memory. You just instinctively know certain things. Just like when I was in another realm, I told you all about. I was there with a young fella and his mother, and he stuck his hand through a masonry through a wall, his fist, and then he pulled it out. And we were standing on what appeared to be a masonry concrete floor, and I told him, "Bet you can't do that with the floor." He said, "Yes, I can." He got down on one knee and he kept pushing and turning his fist until it broke through that concrete floor, and pulled it out. Now, by the time he did that, I looked at the wall, and it was all sealed back and fixed like it never happened. And he said, "Oh, yeah, here, as soon as we do that, it automatically repairs itself." I was telling him, yeah, and on Earth, we can repair holes too, but it involves Home Depot and hammers and, you know, sheetrock mud, you know what I mean? But there, it's instant, you know what I mean? So, what I'm saying is that when you turn yourself, let me try to get to the point I'm trying to make. What is the purpose of transforming into the spiritual body? Well, you know that in a new heaven and a new earth, a new world, God himself will be your God, and he'll be the light of that city, and there'll be no more hunger, no more thirst, no more crying, no more death, no more fear, no more hunger, for the former things will have what?
Passed away.
Just like this world is. Exactly. So that's in essence saying that you'll be immortal. But my question would be, unlike your body, when does your spirit get hungry or cold? And can you shoot it with a gun?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
So when you transform from a physical to a spiritual vibration, a whole light being, then you are automatically immortal. Right? Are you following me? And you can't get sick, you can't get hungry, you see, those things will have passed away. So I don't want it to sound spooky, I just want to bring it within reach so everybody can see it clearly, what the motivation is, because a lot of people want to know, why you got these people moving stars, and why you got them making themselves invisible and shifting the blue light body? Why? But, yeah, there's a method to the madness. It's a reason why I have you all coming out your body and learning. Like Malachi said many years ago, you'll never make the dimensional shift until you learn how to come out of your body at will. That's true. And he always said you have to turn yourself inside out. Or he would make reference to making that journey within. You follow?
Sure.
Yeah. And so that's the purpose of many, you know, the things that I'm doing. So I'm not doing anything for nothing. There's not enough time. It's too serious for that. But I just hope that seeing it in a more clear and definitive light will help to motivate you all. You follow me?
Yes, I got a question.
Yes, and I'm glad to hear your vibration. Bless your soul. What is that?
So the mind is very, very powerful, but it's susceptible to suggestions.
Yeah.
And it could be easily suggested to conform to certain things. For example, let's see, where was that going? The mind, we can see things, what we think we can see it with the mind and actually believe that that becomes the reality for us, whether it be in a desert or you be on another planet or wherever it is. It's your mind's eye creating that reality for you, that experience, correct?
Yes.
So these suggestions, even by way of through meditation, there are suggestions just out in the world that the mind has created that we're calling the illusion now. What we're experiencing in this physical world right now, and we're calling it an illusion right now, however it be so real, is a manifestation of things in our deeply rooted subconscious mind. Is that correct?
Yeah, remember the song, My mind thinks it's real. Yes, my mind thinks it's real. And it feels so real. But he ended with, it's only a dream. Remember? See, so it's all a phantasmagoria. It's all a dream. It's all in your imagination that we create these images. Right, exactly. We all create our own reality.
The ultimate reality is there is no out there.
At all.
Within the mind, but there really is no out there.
Period. Correct.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
I'm in all and what?
All is in me.
If all is in you, then what's outside of you? There is no outside.
Nothing.
This is all in the mind of the mother womb of all. There's nothing outside of all. And everything that exists now always did and always will, and anything that doesn't exist never did and never will, because you can't even imagine non-existence.
Well, if I say there's no out there, then how is this, and this experience I'm experiencing is very real, but there is no, it's in my mind.
Yes, it is. It's the same. Let me give you an example of it through your own experience. Remember, I told you all to imagine walking through a beautiful sunlit valley on a soft day when the breeze is, flowers are smelling good, the bees are. Then you see on the hill 2 trees with a hammock strung between it, and then you just jump up on the hammock and start gently rocking back and forth. And when you get so comfortable that you drift off and fall asleep, and while asleep you dream that you're a little child, or you're older, or you go on to this place or that place, and you meet people you never experienced before in this so-called reality. And then gently I approach and squeeze your pinky finger and whisper into your ear, wake up, wake up. And as you wake up, you realize that you went to all these different places and met all these different people at all these different times, but the truth is your head never really left the pillow. It's just like,
that was all a manifestation of something in my subconscious mind that I was experiencing.
Yes, your imagination.
This right now.
Exactly, right. It's all in your mind. But it's your own self that's raising you up because your soul demands it, that you do indeed awaken. It's your time.
It's not there, it's not happening, or it's not real. But yet
then you can make your hand disappear because you know it's not there. It's just an unfoldment because the atoms everything that you call physical are composed of, like a farasa, a butterfly. They can unfold like out of the cocoon with wet wings, and they warm in the sun and they unfold. If you think that the atoms are solid in some way, they form the illusion of solidity. In the same way, water at room temperature is a liquid, and then when you put it in a pot under a high fire, it vibrates faster, and in the heat, it transforms into a spirit you call steam, and long enough it'll turn into ether, and you don't see any steam or water. But if you turn the fire off and let the kitchen cool, it'll condensate as little droplets of dew all over the ceiling wall that if you could conceivably collect in a cup again and put in the freezer and slow it down the vibrations enough, it would take on a solid form. But remember, it's still H2O. It's the same substance vibrating at different frequencies. So your thoughts is a thing. You know, you can feel the vibrations of it. You know, you go into a home and they be, oh, sweetie, I'm so glad to see you. You know, but that's sweet words coming from hot mouths. You hear what they say, but you can really feel what they mean. And you leave the house because you don't like the vibe. You don't like the vibes, the vibrations. You know, contrary to all the right things. They say something, no, they said all the right things, but I just didn't feel, I didn't like the vibrations. Well, because I'm saying that to let you know that thoughts have substance. So that anything you can visualize, you can conceptualize, materialize, and thereby realize. Right? Well, it refers to the thought that creates the energy that shapes the forms of matter. In reverse, you know, if you take a cigarette and then you light it, you know, the first the cigarette is matter as we know it. But when you light the cigarette, the light and heat are two forms of what? Energy. So you convert the matter into energy. So matter and energy are interchangeable, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. But if you sitting at home in your living room and it's 70 degrees in there and you're cool and calm talking to your friend, they get up to go and get something to eat for y'all in the kitchen, and while they're gone, you start remembering somebody that really abused you and did you wrong somehow in life. And the more you try not to think about it, of course, you know how the mind is. Very elusive. It'll think about it more. And then you start getting very upset, mad. Your Kundalini raises up. And they come back in and you have a different disposition, little droplets of perspiration on the tip of your nose and under your arms, and you're breathing heavier, your heart rate is up, and you're visibly, what's the matter? Nothing. Oh, well, you know, but see, I was just thinking about, you know, this so-and-so and what, you know. And so those thoughts actually generated heat, which is a form of energy, right?
Right.
You know, thoughts can make you hot. You can think of something and right now and get 38 hot. Y'all know what I mean, right? So that means that yeah, that's right. That's right. And it frequently happens. Now, so that means that thought and energy are what? Interchangeable. Right? You can convert thought into energy. You can convert thought into energy. But at the same time, you know, you can convert matter into energy too. So if matter and energy are interchangeable and thought and energy are interchangeable, mathematically you're saying that thought and matter are interchangeable. That's how you're thinking things up. That's how you're actually creating them. You follow?
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm saying...
Yeah, wait a minute. Now, see, that's what I'm saying. See, John is still talking, Kim. We can't just start talking over people like that. I love you. Just have a little more patience. Go ahead.
Well, the phone got dropped, and I didn't know if somebody asked a question in the interim while I was trying to dial back in.
No. We still with you. We still with you.
So I'm in the and I get that. So I'm thinking that, you know, on the worst days that I've created for myself, I'm working on the meditative part of suggesting to my mind, which is susceptible to suggestions, that this is all an illusion, that I'm creating this, and I need to get beyond it, you know, get past it.
But
yet, as the sun rises, you still fall back into those dark things that happen throughout the day, whatever it be, bills, family, whatever the situation is.
Right, because we've all agreed on a certain reality. Yeah.
Right, so I'm dealing with that, and is that can take you away from all of the positive things you're trying to do for yourself. But at the same time, dealing with that, I'll have these experiences throughout the day. These experiences of thinking of something, and then the person will call, or you know, having a meditative thing and realizing that you know, it's just recharging myself, and then creating an environment from that point on through the day that is all positive. Like on the bus, we get all kinds of situations that come from people swearing and cursing, and then having to throw somebody off the bus, all of this type of thing. So I find myself after one of those things where those situations just aren't happening. You know, the people are more pleasant.
You're not you're minding your mind for the dues of your soul. Exactly.
I'm creating that. So now my thing is, well, why can't I create that more consistently? Why is it just these blurps and spots?
The one asking the question knows better than the one being asked. You see, the thing is there's no reason for it. The doubt that you created right then, and why can't I, is the reason. That's the wall you created. You follow me, Simon?
There's no out there.
You can walk on water.
There. Right.
No, there is no out there, and there's no
there.
reason why you can't. There's no answer to that question when you say, why can't I? Because you can, all can.
I hear you. Yeah.
You follow me? It's just that, and that's a good step, though, because you recognize it, and when you take responsibility like you're doing now, that gives you the ability to respond, right? So you headed toward it,
just seems
because
like
there's no defense against the sensible enemy, so most people don't even know. They can't. It gets the best of all of us, because the mind of all is powerful, and you are the all. So your thoughts are powerful. Like I said, you dream, you're having sex with a person, and you're in the bed alone, and you achieve a nocturnal emission, and you wake up embarrassed because you're in bed by yourself. Then go have sex with somebody in what you call, i.e., the real world, and don't achieve it. So which one was real? Do you follow how powerful you opened up? My mind is powerful, more powerful than you think. But you have to learn to harness it. Like a wild stallion.
Right. If I'm listening to the TV and all that negative stuff, and politics, all that negative stuff, the religious things that are going on, and the raging, and the race thing, and all that, aren't I putting negative suggestions at some level of my subconscious mind?
But that's why you get those packages that I send you, and I ask you all to place things all night, certain things all night. Because that's when you're most vulnerable in your sleep. And you need a psychic self-defense, and so that you can keep programming yourself positively. And what's the importance of that is twofold. It's not just that you're programming positive things into you, but while you're doing it, because the mind can only think of one thing at a time, you don't allow any dark thoughts in. You follow me? So it's just like if a child is afraid of the dark, and they want me to get rid of the dark, take the dark or the evil away, whatever it is that they fear. I tell them, no, let's not focus. I just want I want to turn the light on. You see, so I want them focusing on light. But as a consequence of the light coming on, what happens to the darkness?
Disappears.
It goes away, because they can't exist at the same time in the same place. Now, your mind is just like this. It's scattered in a lot of different thoughts, like you say. It's like let's use the sun, for example. Its rays are warm and pervasive, again, for bees and flowers, and gives life to all things, and it's warm and caresses your skin, etc. But when you were a child and used a magnifying glass to focus it to a fine point, it intensified so that it could burn through paper and wood, etc. You follow what I mean?
Brother,
your mind is like the scattered rays of the... was almost 10:30?
4 minutes,
Yeah, what time is it?
10:25. 20.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Thank you so much. And somebody remind me about the blue light in a minute. Huh? But you can see something?
It's time to go. Yeah.
Thank you, son. He told me it's kind of cloudy, but we can see a few stars out there. Well, I like to go outside with him and move things. I enjoy watching him move myself, too. So I'm going to go out there with him now, step on some shoes and go outside. And I pray that I meet all of you out there. Participate. Because in order to be it, you have to first be able to see it. You see, John, that was a perfect example of an exercise in futility, because what's the difference between me moving and going outside? And there is no outside. You see, when I close my eyes, that blackness, that is the void, that is the universe. All the stars are inside. All is in me. Okay. Now, who can see what? Where? Who can see stars, moon, planets, what? What do you see?
I can see stars in Florida, but it's so
crescent moon and a star.
Okay. In Texas, you spoke very clearly that you could see something. Well, can you see a moon and a star?
Yes, I see the moon. It's real hazy, like a hazy aura or something.
Okay, and is the star by itself separate from everything else?
Yes, it is a star down away from the moon.
Tell me how you want me to move it.
Okay, to the right.
I knew it. Move to the right in the name of our moon ray. in the name of the Messiah. Now you describe to us what you see. Now up and over and move to the left.
Right.
Okay. Now to the left.
And now it's moving. It's running to the left now.
Now down and under, back to the right.
And
Stop.
it's going back to the right.
Now up. Move up in the name of the Messiah.
And it's moving up.
Now drop down, straight down.
And it's dropping down.
Now in a circle. Om Amun. Om Kulum. Om Amun. That's right, exactly, clockwise. That's where I'm going because I want to take you into the future. Very good. Now, how about the moon? You want me to move that too?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll move that to the right. Move to the right in the name of the Messiah. Up and over.
It's moving.
Move to the left.
And it's going back to the left.
Now, down and under, back to the right. Stop.
Yes, it's going to the right.
Now raise up.
And it's going up.
Now drop down.
And it's coming down.
Now in circles. Om Amun. Om Kulum. Om Amun.
It is moving.
Yes, I'm making it. I'm going the opposite way this time, just to change it. Right. Very good. Now, my question is would you move that star or the moon for us?
Yes.
Okay. Move the star.
Someone see it too?
Yes. Who else is outside and can see these?
Anybody else?
I know Kim can see in Florida. Kim, can you see the moon?
I can see stars, but it's very keen, but there's no moon in sight.
Okay, it's very keen. It's clear. The star is clear.
The star is.
That what you're saying? Is it bright and clear? I mean, is it clear? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's clear, no clouds, but the stars so far out, they're very small.
Okay, but you see the one, though, right? You're looking at one?
Yeah, I see one.
Focus on that one, and I'll move it. It'll start moving. You tell me when you see it moving. It's going to be moving kind of wide, fast.
Okay, I see it moving all over the place.
Yeah, it's moving just crazy. I don't have a particular pattern. I'm just moving it around. It's moving faster.
Moving to the right and it's bouncing down.
Yeah, right. I'm just playing. But I can write my name with them. Really, I can. But you know, the thing is what my purpose is to have you all doing it. Right. Can anybody else see anything? Joanne Truly, are you here tonight? Something.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
But it's cloudy outside.
Okay, what state are you in again?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah. Let me ask you, what island was that in North Carolina? Was that around Kill Devil or something like that? After this last hurricane passed by, it didn't, I don't think, make landfall, but it was submerged underwater and it never resurfaced? You all lost some land in North Carolina. You remember that?
I'm not too sure about North Carolina. I'm not South
I'll follow
Carolina.
you. But if you all look it up, you can see. I'm just trying to show you that the water's reclaiming the land, so this place is passing away. All right, who else can see something?
I can see a lot of stars.
In Michigan, okay. Can you focus on one star, Shanice? It'll be moving when you look at it already.
Okay.
It'll be moving. It's moving right now because, see, I'm already focusing on, I know which one you're going to look at.
It is.
That's a new lesson for y'all, you know what I mean? See, you know, there's no time in the spiritual plane. It's going to be moving fast and then all crazy, just any kind of way.
The whole creation moving.
Yeah, that happens. So I guess I can't be wrong. You caught me. I'm moving the whole. That's right. I'm moving everything. Right.
Yeah, everything moving.
I know.
Every star is flickering.
Yeah, moving the entire existence. Right. Seen and unseen, moving. Right. But a lot of people, that means that the sun that we have is moving, and of course is pulling the earth. So that means that I'm moving all of us. But you can't feel it. A lot of people just ask me, "Oh, you moving those stars out there like that? Do you think beings around there, you upsetting people?" You say, but they don't understand. They can't feel that any more than you can. I don't care how fast I move you. And everything have a natural order. So it's just like a child swinging on a limb. You know, as soon as they let go and go inside, and you come back, it's right back, and it pops back into place. You follow me?
Yeah.
Because there is a cosmic order. And the only way that I can be doing that, or you all can be empowered to do that, is by the grace and, you know, by will by the Creator. You follow me? That's evidence of who sent me and who He sent me to. Right?
Right.
That you get your lighting right in the room that you're in. You have to be very comfortable, preferably lying down, but you could sit up, you know, if you can be comfortable like that. But make sure your spine is straight and you don't have your head land on a pillow, right? And the lighting is very important. You want ambient. You don't want direct light, bright. But if you're in one room and you have blinds to the other, you could turn on a kitchen light or something, or light a little candle, or you could have the television light on, but put a sheet over the face of the screen so the light is soft, right? And if you have incense, light it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to put on the 3 tones in one. But the most important thing is for you all to get very comfortable, in a very position, very comfortable, and relaxed. And your lighting has to be just right, because I'm going to make sure that you see your auras first. And you know, we're going to go through quite a few things here. Just a minute. Okay. Now inhale 7 times very deep to your nostrils. A green and blue, white and violet light mixed for healing very deeply. Enough for us to hear you in the phone. And then exhale with your swinging your head to your chin is on your chest. Everything negative outside of your body, any perceived illnesses or tension or stress or toxins, anything, just exhale it hard till there's nothing left. 7 times. Now inhale. Hold it. Knock. Blow it out. Now, inhale. You have to visualize, see this healing essence going into your nose. Let it go throughout your body from head to toe. It'll relax you. Now, blow it all out. Now, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Just relax. You should have a kind of, if you did it hard enough, you have a feeling of euphoria, like a runner's high. So I just want you to relax and let go. Now, we're going to count down from 10. And every time I drop a number, I want you to drop down in the physical sense and raise up in the spiritual sense. Raise up your spiritual vibrations or inner vibrations, but let your body drop down like it's sinking through the bed or couch or whatever it is that you're laying on. And the most important thing to do is relax and let go. Even when you think you're as relaxed as you could possibly be, I'm going to ask you to relax even more. Relax and let go. 10. Relax. Relax. Imagine a giant magnet over you, and it's pulling all stress and tension, worries, toxins, pollutions, illness, negative thoughts, negative energy out of your body and out of your being. And just let go. Let God. Drop down. Relax. 9. Now relax every muscle in your body. Let go. Let God. Just float on the ethers. Let it go. Drop down. 9. 8. Relax. Even more. Just drift on the wind. Merge with the oneness. Remember that. Return to the world of the first mind. Relax and let go. Drop down. 7. All the muscles in your neck, your head, all the way down to your feet. Let that go. Let all that tension and stress go. All the worries of the world, all the illusions. Return to the world of the first mind. Drop down. 6. Breathe deeply. Let go. Just float. Become weightless. Let go. Let that everything negative, every negative thought just float up into the magnet. Don't try to hold it. Just let go. Let God. Drop down. 6. Let go. Now, you're ready to really begin to relax. Relax. Let go. Relax and let go. Drop down. Just float. 5. Relax. Relax into your relaxation. Relax and let go. It's all an illusion, only a dream. 4. Drop down. Let go. Relax. Let it go. It's like you're almost just spiritually breathing. Relax and let go. You're so relaxed. Let go. It's an illusion. Let go of that tension. 3. Drop down. Relax. Just get loose and limber and let go. It's almost like you're forgetting that you had an illusory body. Let go. 2. Relax. Drop down. Let go. Just blend back into the oneness. You are one with all, and all is one with you. Imagine all of your personalized creative problems being dispersed into the boundless infiniteness of all. It becomes like nothing. 2. Drop down. Even more. Let go. Mute your phones. Relax. Relax. Just let go. And gently float. 1. Drop down. Sink into all. And rock comfortably and securely in the bosom of all. You have no cares or problems. It's called self-realization. Now you're beginning to remember exactly who and what you are. You are one with all, and the all is perfect. Say it to yourself. I am one with the all, and all is perfect. Relax. Now, imagine that you're standing across the street from the house or building that you're in right now. And with wonderment, you watch this green and blue divine light, about the diameter of a telephone pole, going straight down through your roof. And you look all the way up, and it seems to have no beginning or source. It's as if it's coming from out of nowhere and yet everywhere. And it's precise and brilliant. Now, out of curiosity, you walk across the street, inside, and you search room to room to try to see where this light is coming into your home. And you find it. It's coming through the ceiling exactly where you have your head laying right now. That's right. You see a form there where that light is penetrating into your head, and that form is you. It's strong and powerful, and it pushes down through your crown like a sweeping torrent, an irresistible force. And it goes through your head and your neck, and it pushes ahead of it all toxins and everything negative, including thoughts or anything that you think is harmful to your system, and in its wake, it's leaving purification and perfection and reinvigorated cells and life force abundance. Now it's sweeping down through your shoulders, through your arms, to your fingertips and back around, up through your shoulders and down through your chest. It's warm and pervasive. You love it, and it loves you. Now it moves down, pushing everything negative ahead of it, because nothing impure or negative can exist in this torrent, this bulwark of divine essence, this second, this prana from on high. It sweeps down past your hips and through your thighs and knees, and it has accumulated all of these negative things in front of it. And now you start feeling the bottom of your feet start to tingle as the light gets closer to your ankles. And then finally, it pushes everything negative out of the bottom of your feet. Make sure your feet are not directed towards any people, that you point them somewhere where you're not pushing it out of yourself into them. And just keep visualizing that light coming down through the top of your head and sweeping through your whole body and purifying and cleansing you in pulses and pushing everything negative out of the bottom of your feet. You can see the light coming out the bottom of your feet is a little more dingy. It's not as clear and sparkling and pure as the light coming into the top of your head. But it's beginning to get brighter and brighter. And now that light is just as crystal clear and bright coming out of the bottom of your feet as the light going into the top of your head. Now, put your feet together and keep the light coming into the top of your head, but it has no outlet, so it just builds up as it circulates into your body in pulses. And as it does, it starts perspiring through your skin and you see the atmosphere of light forming around your body, you're starting to generate a light like a sparkler